Alright, this no color thing, I just don't like it, and I don't think you like it, so we're just gonna change it. Alright, there we go. Anyways, I went to Tennessee, and it was a total of 24 hours, 4 hotels, sleepless nights. After all my relatives packed in 3 cars, we went 6 hours to a city with amazing ice cream. That ice cream was the best I had had in a while. We walked around a bit longer to see the place, but we had to continue the drive. Did I ever tell you we had walkie-talkies in the cars? It's actually pretty useful, because at times we coordinated a plan, and it worked. We drove 12 hours to Louisiana, to Mississippi, and we stayed at a hotel. We woke up and kept driving, and driving, and driving, and driving in an endless loop until we couldn't, and then we all died. I'm just kidding. Then we reached our destination, a cabin in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. We set up our cabin with all our food, and we went to sleep. We wake up and head to old houses from the 1800s. We looked around for a little, took some pictures, and drove back to the cabin to relax. Then we went to Kista. Now, if you don't know what Kista is, it's basically an amusement park high in the Smoky Mountains. You have to take a ski lift to get up there. My girl cousin from the last video was screaming really bad because she was scared, but the other cousin just took videos up there and texted. There's a few people that dropped their stuff. Once we got up, we checked in, and there was parks for kids and whatever. And there's a weird looking guy you can take pictures. Yeah, it was pretty weird. But there is an amazing view in the mountains where people died. I'm kidding. And there's a roller coaster that you could control, and I rode it. When I went down, I stopped because I was scared. But when I went down at a fast pace, I realized it wasn't as scary because the cap for speed was 35 miles per hour, which is about half the speed of a normal roller coaster. At the end of the ride, we had to go up a very steep hill, and I was pushing up as fast as possible because I was going so slow. I was scared. I thought I was going to fall, and I did. Ah! Just kidding. But luckily, I didn't. The cousin from my last video, the boy, by the way, if you watched it, him and my uncle rode down the road without stopping. They asked the workers if they could do that, and they said that nobody had fell off the ride, so they did it. When I tried not stopping, I did the same thing, but it felt like the roller coaster, I was gonna go off. So obviously, I didn't, but it's probably because of the things under the roller coaster making it slightly jump. After that, we took the ski lift one more time out of Kista. My cousin was still scared. What are you doing? And we went home and set up where we're going to sleep and discovered that there was a pool table. We gambled like men. I'm kidding, no. An entire TV room in the basement in the cabin that we were staying in. So we played that for a while, but we also discovered that there were these centipedes that were in the basement. Oh my god, it was disgusting. We thought they were poisonous, but we had no idea. They looked like this. Disgusting. But we killed them every time because we had our shoes on. Yeah, anyways, there was an old Monopoly there, and you know how much I love Monopoly. It's the best. But the weird thing is that Baltic was purple. Caltic was purple. We played it till 1 a.m. that night. I was last. I wake up tired in the morning, eating Tinman Coast Bunch. It was raining, so we took our cars into the Smoky Mountain trails, where we saw trees, plants, old things, and really good pictures like this one. A tree might be in the way, but who cares? Like I said earlier, I was wrong. We saw the houses on the way to Klingman's Dome, also known as the tallest mountain in the Smoky Mountain range, with a whopping 6,643 feet in the air. There was information about the mountain on the mountain. Once we drove more than an hour back to the cabin, we waited till we went go-karting. Yeah, Yeah, I got on the cart and sped, beating everyone with a graceful ending with dust in everyone's eye. No. Started the car, went at a decent speed, went around the course, and crashed my cousin, and he died. I'm kidding you. But I was going so slow, he was trying to go fast, so somehow he spun and got stuck on the track. This was on the first course, and there were 3. There's the first course with the huge drop, the second that had multiple drops and was pretty exciting. I got stuck in that one. And the third one was like the oil slick track, like the one in Ario Mart Nate Beluz. We had 5 times to go on these courses, and my relatives got to go a few extra times because a dad and his child were done at the go-kart place and gave them their tips. We weren't happy about that. Once we got back to the cabin, it was 12 a.m. So, like the gentlemen me and my cousins were, we played a game of old Monopoly with not enough dollar bills and use of the new dollars from the new Monopoly National Parks version. Did I ever tell you we got that? I didn't. We set up on the board and I dominated the entire game. Everyone bowed down to me, and if they didn't, I would end them. I'm just kidding. I got last, and if you watch the board games video, you would know that I can only win with 3 people. There's 5. I'm sad. I got in an air mattress and slept tirelessly. In the morning, my relatives went to Laurel Falls, a small hiking thing. I didn't go, but in the afternoon, we went river rafting. And let me tell you, we had a blast, or should I say, a splash. So we get on our swim clothes and drive to the place, and we get on the raft. Now, I was afraid that I was going to fall, because he taught us that there were bad stuff in the water, and you could get your foot stuck and die. But luckily, I didn't. We glided swiftly down the river, as radical as possible, making the waves. We were on the beginner track, so we rode almost like a water line. What the? Why is this indiscreet? That was almost like a wave, but it wasn't. It was like a huge line in between rocks. So we glided on that. Then we had to pedal with like the canoe things in order to get onto the wave. Now what you're thinking is we failed and died. No, we actually rode it, and we stood there for a good 10 seconds, but we had to continue. There were bumps and bruises on the way, but I made it to make this. After we skipped stones and went back to the cabin, me and my cousins and one of my relatives went to Gatlinburg, Skybridge. We went up the ski lift and reached a high point in the mountains where there was a bridge with glass at a specific spot where I did this. I was actually pretty scared because the bridge actually moved because of the other people on the bridge. But then I noticed people from years before with their skeletons still there. And I'm just kidding, no one had died on the bridge. Wait. We went back down and had the most scrumptious burgers I had ever had. The place was called Rockets or something Rockets. We went there because every other place was occupied, but this place was amazing, especially with the milkshakes we got with it. Their combination was the best place I had had in a while. That made no sense. My cousins actually played Monopoly without me because apparently I had been asleep, and they couldn't wake me up. And I'm a slightly hard sleeper, so I guess that makes sense, but I still blame it on them. The next day, we had to pack up everything and go to Memphis. But on the journey there, we saw Laurel Falls and took pictures. At the bottom, there was an arm and a leg, and I thought I was crazy because I'm the only one who saw it. But I'm just kidding, nothing was at the bottom. Actually, there were people swimming down there. I don't know. But I didn't even go down to the bottom. I sat at the top with my Friedish Sish. We reached Memphis, and I spent the night at Memphis. Then we went to Beale Street, where we had even more scrumptious food. Also known as the best pork scrumptious food is barbecue pork ribs at King's on Beale Street. The second I tasted, I died in a good way. That makes no sense. We listened to music and got souvenirs like mugs and a fridge magnets, but then we had to go to a hotel. but they were remodeling. The place, no one was there to check us in. There was no air conditioning, so we had to leave. At the time I was making the first video, I was just tired and also happy that I could work more on it. But there was literally no other hotels besides 3 convenient motel rooms for us to stay at a babita. Now, there was no good things about this hotel. There was mold, nothing had been cleaned in what looks like a really long time, so I slept terribly that night. I wake up and we went to Senid for breakfast, and finally, after all the pain and suffering from the babita, we're home. So, new video. I don't even consider this an end card because nothing is here. Nobody seems to be fan art. I should probably put that somewhere. Anyways, this is V.A.M with Chris, and I'll be out. I know it's a bad name, don't judge me.